The Raiders went to Foxboro and left with a dub. Let's talk about it. What up, Raider Nation? I know you feeling good today. Caught that dub on Sunday morning, baby. Let's go. Let's go. I said let's go. Raiders. All right, then. Without further ado, let's get into it a little bit. All right, so we started off hot, right? Geno Smith just marching down the field. We got Genty cutting it up for 9 here, 6 there. We even hit Bowers on what, a 23-yard gain? Capped off by a 26-yard touchdown pass on the opening series. Whew! I know we was all hyped. I'm watching this game. I'm like, no way we just did that. No way. We just did that? That easy? You telling me it's been that easy this whole time? And it took us this long to figure it out? Whew. That easy, baby. And then our defense goes out there. Now here's the test. This is the test, right? Secondary's been questionable. Wondering if we're going to get pressure from that line with Max and the boys. 3 and out. 3 and out. I looked at my wife. I said, babe, if we score here, we're going to the playoffs. If we score right here and go up 14-0, we're going to the playoffs. I promise you that. I'm telling you, 10, 11 wins. If we score right here and go up 14-0, we're going to the playoffs. And ain't nobody can talk that shit no more. Because there's Raiders in this bitch. That's what I was telling my wife. I was telling her this shit, right? Then we get the ball back. And it doesn't look good. It's flashing good. But we throw a pick. The fuck? All right. It's just one, though. You know, you got to give them one, right? You got to give them one. Because even a dead clock's right twice a day. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. You got to give them one. All right, we gave them one. Get that out early. Get the whoopsies out early. Next 5 drives. Well, next 4 drives. Punt, punt, punt. Right before halftime, kick a field goal. Missed. But on that interception, let's rewind. My bad. I jumped forward. I got excited. We throw the pick. Geno throws the pick. What do the Patriots do? They respond. This is not good. Momentum's shifting here. Momentum is shifting. It's not good. But whatever. We go into halftime 10-7. Could have went 10-10. Could have went 10-10, but we missed the field goal. We got people on Twitter, on X, wondering, do we need to have a serious talk about Carlson? He seems like when we need it, he misses it. But wouldn't we need every field goal anyway? I mean, if we're kicking a field goal, we obviously need the points. Otherwise, we're just going to go for it on 4th or 3rd and short. Like, I know there's situations you're going to kick a field goal, the 4th and long, whatever. 4th and long in no man's land, kind of, you got to punt there. A little ahead where you could fight for it, you know. All right, I get it. But come back from halftime. We made some adjustments. Had to have made some adjustments. Now, what I didn't like before halftime was the amount we were using Malcom Koonce. It seems like he was gone for 3 to 4 play stretches at a time. I don't know if it's because he's still nursing that injury or if you don't trust. They keep saying he's 100%. He just needs to trust it. So I'm going to believe you. So why are we not playing him 100%? Because I understand, Max Crosby's a unicorn playing 100%, but I still expect him to be up there around 70, 80, 60 at least. Right? I'm pretty sure he was in the 40s, 50s percentile for snaps. It was crazy. It was crazy. All right, let's get back into it. Come back from the second half. Max Crosby gets a pressure on Mac Jones, makes him throw a bad pass, and guess who's there? And don't you say Isaac, because his name ain't Isaac, it's Isaiah. Palomar, let's go. Let's go. Pick, baby. We got a pick in week 1. We need a round of applause for the pick on week 1. Because that don't happen lately. It don't happen lately. It's crazy. It's crazy out here. And then what happens? What happens? What's Geno do? What's Geno do? He goes out there. He goes out there and he wastes no time. He hits Jacoby Myers twice for 2 big gains. But there's a flag on that second one. It's a personal foul. They gave us 15 more yards. It's personal, baby. They gave us 15 more. Gotta love it, man. When that shit goes on, that shit don't ever go our way. I saw the flag. I'm like, fuck. What'd we do? Fuck, what'd we do? We must have done something. Oh, they did it. Let's go. Now we're up 14-10. All because Paul, messing up his name, Palomar got that pick. He was in position. It was nice. After that, it was a battle of your punts and field goals, baby. Punt, field goal, punt, punt, field goal, punt, punt, field goal, punt. But there were some flashes in there, so it's not like it was a obnoxiously boring game. We had some chunk plays in there, right? Ended up tightening some things up. And all in all, we got away with a 2013 victory. Had some good plays in there. One thing worried me a little bit. Brock Bowers did leave the game early. You don't want to see that from your star. It's not just from your star tight end. That is the star of the offense. I like Geno. I like Kobe. I like Thornton. I like Tucker. I like Genty. But the star of this offense has one name, same initials. That's BB. Brock Bowers. Baby. Let's get it. He went out. They're saying he's fine. He just, banged up his knee a little bit. All right, bet. So, it's something to keep an eye on throughout the week. See if he's practicing. See how much he's practicing. See what the coaches are saying and things. I haven't got to watch the after-game presser. I was watching every game yesterday. This is week 1. I know I'm Raider Nation till I die. It's all Raiders all day. But week 1, I wanted to catch some games. I wanted to see what the Broncos were doing. They didn't look that great. I mean, they had some flashes. Bo Nix looked like shit. Bo Nix looked like shit, dog. He looked like they had some fucking slashes on the ground game though. That was interesting to see. But Bo Nix looked like shit. I can't wait for Max to try to get in his head again with the "Speak up, Bo, I can't hear you." Grab them nuts, Bo. You're gonna need them. You're gonna need them come, what is that? What's that? Week, is that 7, 8, 9, 10? We don't play them till week 10? Jeez. They got lucky. It's a Thursday night game, too. I got the schedule over there. That's why I'm looking that way. I got the schedule right over there on my wall. Printed it out. Bam. All right. Now, the game was wet. It was a wet one over there. So, I was expecting more run and pass, but seems like both teams were passing more than they were running. So maybe it just was just wet enough to make the ball a little bit slippery to hold on to, but not too bad to be able to just get a nice pass in there. I don't know. I'm speaking out my ass right now. I'm just speaking out my ass. Because Genty didn't have much off the ground, but he didn't look bad. Genty didn't look bad at all. He had some, 9-yard gains here and there, 6-yard gains here and there. Got stuffed up a couple times. We'll talk a little bit about that when we talk about the All-22. I only checked on 3 players in the All-22. I was hearing some names out there. And while I was watching the game, I was also having my own feelings. So a couple names I was hearing. Kyu Blu, Malcom, Koonce, right? So I hearing people saying Kyu Blu had a good game. I felt that while watching it as well. That's how I felt. That's how I still feel. Still feel he had a good game. Very solid game by the young buck. I take back anything negative I may have said about him in the preseason. I'm just calling it how I see it, and right now he's showing good. He's showing good. Malcom Koonce. Had some people talking about Malcom Koonce, and then I personally, obviously, watching it live, I saw that strip sack that was just chef's kiss, baby. Let's get it. And then JPJ. Now, let me say something. Because before I watched the All-22 and I'm watching the game live, I got my fan goggles on. I'm not watching in any analytical way. I am watching as a fan. So things frustrate me, piss me off. I say that, and that, as a fan, one good player makes one big mistake, and it's like, oh, that guy sucks. He's losing it. Something's wrong, or something. You know what I mean? You kind of go that way with it because you're watching as a fan. And that's how I watch all games, is as a fan, until I slow myself down, give it about a half a day to a day, watch the All-22, and go from there. So watching it as a fan, I was highly disappointed in JPJ. Jackson Powers Johnson. For those who don't understand the initials, Jackson Powers Johnson is JPJ. JPJ, Jackson Powers Johnson. We're going to call him JPJ from here on out. Everyone does. That's how we're going to do. So I was very frustrated with him. Saw him let a sack through, and just discipline. Just discipline on that unsportsmanlike conduct. It was costly right there, man. We didn't, not right there. Not, like if we're getting blown out, I could understand the frustration in you doing that. If we're down 21-0, we're losing by 21 plus points, I can understand, get a little frustration. If we're up by a huge margin, I can understand excitement and going a little past the whistle or going a little, they were on the sideline there, man. Dude was going out and he gave him that oomph-ta. He gave him that oomph-ta. And he shouldn't have. He shouldn't have done that. And that's just discipline. He needs to work on that. With my fan goggles on, I was very pissed off. I was like, man, I thought this dude was gonna be an all-pro one day. All pros don't do that. They know when to play and when to stay, when to fold them, when to hold them. You know what I'm saying? So it was frustrating to see that in real time. Now, I slowed myself down, went back and watched the All-22. Let's see what I got on JPJ. We'll start with, I didn't plan on starting with JPJ, but we'll start with JPJ. Here's what I got wrote down. I'm going to read it how I wrote it. Hopefully it don't sound whack. All right, I got high hopes for this kid. Thought he was a bright spot last year, so I'm banging the drum for this kid to be great. You know that. I've been saying that since last year, whether it's on posts or whether it's on clips. I've been saying I think JPJ is a future All-Pro. I watched 62 snaps. I graded 62 snaps from JPJ. And on my scoring system, I got to break this down for you, too, before we get into that. I created a scoring system so I can judge these players in a way that seems fair. Now, in my scoring system, 1 is 100%, -1 is bad. It's very bad. 1 is as good as you can get, -1 is as low as you can get. Now, technically, you can get up to +2, and you can get down to -2. But if you're +2, it literally means, like, take a wide receiver, for example. It would literally mean the quarterback threw to only you. You caught every single pass, and every single catch you made was spectacular in some way, shape, or form. That's what that means. You're never going to get a 2. It's just that it's impossible. It's going to be really hard to get a 1 in this grading system. So really it goes from 1 to -1. Same for -2. If you have a -2, then there's no reason you'll even be on a practice squad or even low division college team. Like if you're -2, it literally means you're, out there doing nothing. You're out there, they hike the ball. Let's say you're on defense, you're a defensive end. They hike the ball, you turn around and run away every play. That's what that would mean. You turn around, run away, get lost every play. That would be a negative too. But technically, semantics, because I go from, I'm pretty sure most people do this when they're judging, go from negative, double negative, up to double positive, and then you take all the snaps and you do the formulation and you blah. Now that's enough of that. But basically, in this grading system, like a 0.4, 0.5 is about average good. Like average good, good average is 0.4, 0.5. So when you hear me say, hey, this guy's got a 0.2, yeah, it means he's not that good, but I'm not saying like out of 10 or out of 5. So it's really out of 1. So, without further ado, 1 is flawless, -1 means that player needs replaced ASAP. 1 is flawless, -1 means that player needs replaced ASAP. All right, now, without further ado, let's get into this. Since we were talking about JPJ first, we'll go into that. Got high hopes for him, banging the drum for the kid to be great. Out of 62 snaps I graded from JPJ, I have him tallied at a score of 0.32. It's lower than I wanted it to be. And I'm not being biased. I'm being as objective as possible with this. I even had to slow myself down a couple times and tell myself, now think about if this guy didn't play for the Raiders, how you would grade him. Because I'm a little generous. I was feeling like I was going to be generous, but I wasn't. So I kept reminding myself, just treat them like they're not even players for the Raiders. Treat them like they're a player. Cool, that worked for me. So got him at a 0.32, which is not great, but it's around average bad in this scoring system. So, there's average good, there's good average, which is better than average good, then there's average bad, and then there's bad average below that. So he's about a average bad in this game. Now, watching it live, like I said, I thought it was much worse than I graded it. I basically thought he was going to get like a 0.1, 0.2. That's, watching it as a fan through my goggles. And that's before I even developed the system. But, yeah. So, turning on the All-22, I fully expected him to see it look like a turnstile. Like, I thought he was just going to be a turnstile out there. Because the way it felt watching him. Live. That wasn't the case. He actually did a solid job. A very solid job. I know what I said about 0.32 being average bad. That's just sometimes how the dice roll when you make silly mistakes. Like, for example, that 0.32 could easily be a 0.42, which would be average good if you didn't allow a sack and didn't have that costly flag thrown on him. Like, that's how sensitive this scale can be. And that's how I want it, really. That wasn't the case. He did a solid job. He did lose some reps. He allowed a sack. He had the flag that pisses me off. He even let a guy beat him that met Ginty at the line. That all were some things that I had to tally against him. But what you may not have noticed watching the full game, because we kind of got our eye on the ball, not necessarily particular players while we're watching live, are the 50-ish other snaps where he just did his job. Out of 62 snaps, he had somewhere around 50 where he just did his job. Like, that's good. That's solid. That's, from your offensive lineman, that's what you want. It's them to do their job. Hold the block long enough for Geno to make a decision. Push your defender away from Ginty when he's running. That's what you want. Hold your block or push him away. That's what you want. That's what he did for the most part. But, like I said, he had that time where he let his defender by him, got Ginty at the line. He allowed a sack. It was a weird stunt play. It wasn't weird. It was standard. I don't know if it was the defensive tackle or the linebacker, but he lined up behind the edge. They hike the ball. Powers goes up, blocks the edge, shoves him over to Glaze. He's not quick enough to jump back left and clog that hole where old boy behind the edge loops back through, gets in, grabs the sack. That's what happened there. That's on him. He got a double negative for it. You allow a sack, you get a double negative. That's how things go in my book. That's how it is. Sorry, playa. That's what it is. He got a double negative for the unsportsmanlike conduct call. Can't do that. Can't do that. It is all on you. If I had a triple negative in the system, you would get a triple negative for that. I do not like unsportsmanlike calls. I hate them. I hate them unless we're up by a whole bunch or down by a whole bunch, and it's not going to affect the game. because then it just shows you got grit. Now, I love the grit. I don't want you to quit playing with grit. I do not want JPJ to quit playing with grit, but those are disciplinary things that need fixed. Know when to hold them, know when to fold them. If you're up by 40 and you give a guy an extra shove, all right, cool. We might go back 15, and the coach might chew your ass out because, hey, you got to be more disciplined than that. You know better. But then again, as a fan, I'm going to look at it like, didn't affect the game. I'm fine. But that was that for JPJ. Let's talk about Kyu Blu Kelly. Also, keep in mind with this grading system, I just was checking my notes. I'll be tinkering with it a little bit. This is a new system I'm just kind of working on myself. I'll be tinkering with it a little bit, but for right now, I got a pretty solid base, I feel, so I'm going to go this way. But as I start introducing new things to look for and whatnot, I'll be tinkering with it there, and I'll let you know. Kyu Blu Kelly. Where's he at? Where's he at? All right. I graded 70 snaps from Kyu Blu. I have him at a .42, which is average good. It's average good. He had a nice pass breakup on third down and another play late in the fourth where his sticky coverage prevented a reception that could have swayed things a bit. Now, that's at the end. So, let's see. Yeah, he had a nice pass breakup. Yeah, you remember that pass deflection on third down. That was nice. That was nice. Made him punt. Now, in the fourth quarter, Patriots trying to march down the field. Mac Jones lets one go. Kyu Blu side towards the edge. Kyu Blu was stuck on this guy. I forget, was it Bouguet? I don't know who he was guarding. I'm not even going to act like I did because I wasn't paying attention to those players. I'm paying attention to our players. I want to see what we're doing. So, anyway, he was stuck on him. It was close. Like, I thought, shit, I'm sitting there clenching my butt like, oh, I hope it's not a PI. And it wasn't. Good. That was good. I also saw him make some contact at the line of scrimmage. That was nice. Off the top of my head, I can't remember if it was running back or quarterback. Either way, they broke out for a run. Kyu Blu saw it. Bam. At the line of scrimmage. At the line of scrimmage. Let's go. Now let's talk about the pass interference. How'd you feel about it? Because I know how I felt about it. I saw that. That's a fucking bullshit call. Fuck we calling that for? That's a flagrant flag. What are we doing? Let them play, ref. I saw worse pass interferences this weekend that didn't get called. That was not a pass interference. They were playing. They were playing the game. That's all that was. So I gave him a positive for that. Because that wasn't on him. He played great defense. He played great defense, and he did everything he had to do. That was not a pass interference. I disagree with the ref. I don't work for the NFL, so I can say that. What else? Yeah, that's it for Kyu Blu. Like, other than that, he just did his job out there. He was where he was supposed to be when he was supposed to be. He allowed some catches. Those were dings towards him. He probably could have got a solid like .62, but some catches got in there. There's a few things in there. Nothing big though. He played solid. He had an average good game. Average good is good. Don't let the word average in front of it throw you off. It's a good game. The reason the average is in front of it is it's a way for me to grade it with how sensitive the scale is. I got to have an average good so I can have a good average. So then I can have a good and a great. You know what I'm saying? Because these things, these things are, the scale's weird. We're gonna figure it out though. All right. Last guy I watched on the All-22. Malcom motherfucking Koonce, baby. What I see. Now, Koonce is someone we were a little worried about this preseason. After coming back from a season-ending injury last year, he seemed slow to get back to speed. Out of the 3 players I graded this week, Koonce played the least amount of snaps. He also had the highest grade, .52. That's a good average. It's a good average. That might even be, as I do this more, .52 might even end up being like, oh, that's good. And .4 it might end up being like, oh, that is average. The more I do this, more I work with this scale, and the more I grade people, the better idea I'll have of where these scores rank. So, got to start somewhere, though, right? So, he had a .52, which I'd say is good average. Notice how it's flipped from Kyu Blu's average good. Good average. Had to put that note in there. It's intentional. It means he did better. Now, as good as Koonce did, he also lost some reps. But that's to be expected. Can't win them all. It's what you do with your next rep that counts the most. Everyone's going to lose a rep here and there, even Max Crosby. It's what you do with the next one that counts. 1% every day. Now, one negative that is not even really Koonce's fault, but I had to ding him for it. I couldn't. It was his assignment. They sent him out in coverage to cover a tight end, which I know that's not unheard of. Like, I know that happens a lot with edge rushers. They throw him back like they're a linebacker to cover, to drop back while a linebacker blitzes. I get that. If you go watch that snap, you'll see why it was a bad idea. Koonce literally slipped, like, right away in his back pedal. Like, left him wide open. So, like, I don't blame Koonce because, like, send Koonce on the rush. You got Adams back there or Pratt. Like, come on. Let Koonce rush. That's what he does best. I didn't want to ding him for it, but I had to. He got double teamed and triple teamed. He got double teamed quite a bit. I noticed a handful of double teams out there, but then I saw he was actually triple teamed once. You know, starts off as a double team, and then as everyone's going one way, you know, offensive lineman pushes the other way, and there's three guys on Koonce. Mac rolls out that way. Koonce spins out of it and he gets pressure, forces the throwaway. Forces Mac to throw that one away. That was nice. This dude just came off an injury, and we're all worried about him. He just spins out of a triple team to get pressure on Mac, cause him to throw the ball away, give it back to us. I'll take that, man. That's all day. He got a plus for that, baby. Let's go. And the big strip sack. Yo. That was nice. I didn't know if it was a strip sack at first. I still don't know if he credited him. I know he's got credited one sack, but goes back there, knocks the ball out, got a hand around his fucking waist, man. Did the thing. We didn't get the ball back. Will Campbell, I believe his name is, for their young offensive lineman picked it up. But that was a bummer. But hey, we got the forced fumble there though. That was nice. Good ups on Koonce there. He was hauling ass off that edge. He looked like Max Crosby, just with his arms out wide, just like a 747 jet out there. Smacked that ball out of his hand, boy. And that's yeah. So I got him with a .52. Recap on that. .52 Koonce grade, .32 JPJ grade, .42 Kyu Blu grade. That's crazy. They all end in 2. I didn't realize that until I was just reading it. But yeah, that's how the math worked out. I got some studs of the game. Let's all clap real quick for the studs of the game. I know I'm not live. I know this is pre-recorded, but let's give it a little clap here. First stud of the game, I'm going to go ahead and give it to that boy Devin White. That boy Devin White out there doing things. I've seen him in the mix like all the time, man. I wish I would have watched all 22 on him, but you know, I'm gonna always lean on who I'm gonna pay attention to on what the narrative is. See if I can either debunk the narrative or add the that's true narrative. You know what I mean? But Devin White, gotta give it up. Number 2, gotta be Palomao. Getting a takeaway in week 1? Bro, he's picking up where he left off last year. Let's get it. Palomao, give it up. Give it up. Now this one right here. Geno Smith. What do you have? 362 yards? 70% completion? Touchdown. Had to pick, but he got a touchdown. Stud of the game. Give it up. Who we got here? I think this guy had 5 receptions. I believe it was 5 receptions for 103 yards receiving. Give it up, Brock Bowers. And last but not least, fifth guy on the list. And this list ain't in no order. I just threw the names out there, the names I wanted to mention. And this is a man that deserves to get paid. I believe he had like 6 receptions, 97 yards. Give it up for Jakobi Meyers. Devin White, Paulo Mao, Geno Smith, Brock Bowers, Jakobi Meyers. Those are your studs of the game. Those are your studs of the game. All right. One last thing I want to get into, just my thoughts on a few things to touch on real quick. Malcom Koonce played a low amount of snaps. I don't know why. Like, I would like, maybe somebody can reach out to Vinny Bonsignor. Have him ask that question. Maybe they asked that question in the post-game presser. I didn't tune into that yet. I'll tune into that later tonight. But that one blew my mind a little bit. Had me wondering, had my gears turning. They need to work on JPJ's discipline a little bit. Maybe now we're seeing why he's not playing center. Maybe he was just a little undisciplined. But it's only week 1, so you can't really say that. Can't write the kid off at all. Kid's still got a bright future. Last thing I want to mention, pay Jakobi Meyers. This dude's doing everything right. Even if you, like, I don't care. This is one of them times where it's like, I don't care that it's a business. I don't care that it's a business. I don't care that you think Besh is going to be able to replace him and you'll have him cheaper. I don't care if you think Thornton and Trey Tucker can carry you and Brock Bowers. I don't care. Kobe is not only talented. He's not only a good locker room guy. He's not only as professional as they can be, but he's still showing up to work every day, not causing a fuss, and fucking producing. Pay Kobe. Stop with the nonsense. We already had it, how it was with DA. We don't need no more of that shit. Kobe's doing it the right way. So, are you going to fuck Kobe? Is that what we're going to do? Just pay the man. Because what you're doing here, not paying Kobe, is just showing every wide receiver out there that, and fan, that, Devontae Adams was right to act the way he acted. Because otherwise, nothing would have happened, and he would have just been wasting away. Pay Kobe. I don't care if Mark Davis has to just supersede this and be like, no, you're paying him. No, Spytech, you're paying him. I don't care what you think, you're paying him. Someone needs to step in and say, pay this man. He deserves it. And on that, I'm going to leave you. Win, lose, tie, Raider Nation. Till I die. Let's go.